Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Karina, living Lean Six Sigma, and where I live, breathe, do continuous improvement. Today, I'm continuing on Airframe 2020 Study Test Guide. This is part 7, section Aircraft Fuel Systems. Question: Fuel jettisoning is usually accomplished, answer, through a common manifold and outlet in each wing. Question: the primary purpose of an aircraft's fuel jettison system is to quickly achieve, answer, lower landing weight. Question: true or false? Number 1, the fuel jettison valve must be designed to allow flight personnel to close the valve during any part of the jettisoning operation. 2, during the fuel jettisoning operation, the fuel must discharge clear of any part of the airplane. Answer: both 1 and 2 are true. Question: which of the following is employed to maintain lateral stability when jettisoning fuel? Answer: 2 separate independent systems. Question: a fuel jettison system is required under certain conditions if the maximum takeoff weight exceeds the maximum landing weight. What regulation cover the requirements of fuel jettisoning? Answer: FAR Part 23, Part 25, and CAM 4B. Question: fuel is moved overboard in most fuel jettison systems by, answer, boost pumps. Note, these boost pumps are located in the fuel tanks. Who knew? Question: fuel jettisoning past the limit prescribed by FAR is usually prevented by, answer, dump limit valves or low-level circuit. Question: which procedure must be followed when defueling aircraft with swept-back wings? Answer: defuel the outboard wing tanks first. Note, this procedure minimizes the twisting effect in the wing caused by fuel being located behind the wing attachment points on the fuselage. Question: refer to the figure. What is the purpose of the pump cross-feed valve? Right here. Oops. Answer: allows operation of engines from one tank. Question: normal fuel cross-feed system operation in multi-engine aircraft, answer, provides a means to maintain a balanced fuel load condition. Question: how many vents arranged? I can't see, baby girl. Question: how many vents arranged so that they are not likely to become plunged at the same time must be used in multi-engine fuel systems? Answer: 2. Question: what is the primary purpose of the cross-feed system? Answer: it allows any tank to supply fuel to any engine. Note, this can be used to maintain a balanced fuel load. Question: fuel system components must be bonded and grounded in order to, answer, drain off static charges. Question: how many engine-driven fuel pumps per engine are required for engines requiring fuel pumps? Say that 5 times fast. Answer: 1 fuel pump for each engine. Note, this meets the 14 CFR Part 23. Question: a typical large transport aircraft fuel manifold system allows how many of the following? 1. All tanks can be serviced through a single connection. 2. An engine can be fed from any tank. 3. All engines can be fed from all tanks simultaneously. 4. A damaged tank can be isolated from the rest of the fuel system. Answer: all of them are correct. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Question. A fuel system must be designed to prevent fuel vaping. Oh no, baby girl. Okay, I'm back. Question. A fuel system must be designed to prevent fuel vapor ignition caused by. Answer: lightning. Question. What is the minimum distance allowed between a fuel tank and the firewall separating the engine? Answer: 1/2 inch. Question. Fuel baffles are installed in tanks to prevent blank caused by changes in attitude of the aircraft. Answer: surging. Question. Many fuel tanks incorporate blank valves to prevent fuel from flowing away from the boost pump to tank outlet when the aircraft is in a high G maneuver. Answer: flapper. Many tanks incorporate flapper valves. Question. Fuel heaters are used with fuel systems for turbine engines to prevent blank in the fuel from clogging system filters. Answer: ice crystals. These engines to prevent ice crystals in the fuel. Question. A transducer in a fuel pressure system serves what function? Answer: converts fluid pressure directly through a transmitter to the indicator. Question. The use of turbine fuel in aircraft has resulted in some problems not normally associated with aviation gasoline. One of those problems is, answer, microbial contamination. Note, turbine engine fuel holds water more readily than gasoline. Microorganisms live in the water and form a scrum which clogs the fuel filters, lines, and fuel controls. The scrum holds water against the fuel tank structure and causes tank corrosion. Question. What is used in many aircraft to prevent bubbles in the fuel after it leaves the tank when atmospheric pressure is lower than fuel vapor pressure? Answer: boost pump. Question. Which of the following precautions is most important during refueling operations? Answer: fuel to be used must be appropriately identified. There are different types of fuels. If you went to aviation school, you know that. And those fuels have different characteristics to them. Question. Before fueling an aircraft by using the pressure fuel method, what important precaution should be observed? Answer: the truck pump pressure must be correct for that refueling system. Note, some systems, such that used on the Boeing 727, require a maximum fuel delivery pressure of 50 psi. The delivery pressure varies with the different types of aircraft. Question. What flight safety related advantages does a pressure fueling system provide? Answer: reduce the chances for fuel contamination. Note, it also reduces the danger of static electricity ignition, statically ignited fuel vapors. Question. Aircraft pressure fueling system instructional procedures are normally placarded on the, answer, fuel control panel access door. Question. Pressure fueling of aircraft is usually accomplished through, answer, at least one single point connection. Question. Which of the following may be used for the repair of fuel leaks on most integral fuel tanks? Answer. Riveting and resealing. Question. How is the outlet fuel pressure regulated on a submerged single-speed centrifugal type fuel pump? Answer. By the pump's design and integral clearance. Question. What is one purpose of a fuel tank vent? Answer. To maintain atmospheric pressure. Question. When inspecting a removable ridge fuel tank for leaks, what procedure should be followed? Answer. Pressurize the tank with air and brush with soapy water. Note, soap bubble solution will indicate the leaks. Question. If it is necessary to enter an aircraft's fuel tank, which procedure should be avoided? Answer. Conduct the defueling and tank purging operation in an air-conditioned building. Note, you are asked which procedure should be avoided. All defueling and purging must be done outside, not in any building, air-conditioned or otherwise. Trick question from the FAA. Question. What is recommended practice for cleaning a fuel tank before welding? Answer. Steam clean the tank interior. Question. An aircraft's integral fuel tank is, answer, a part of the aircraft structure. Question. Which gas is used for purging an aircraft fuel tank? Answer. Carbon dioxide. Question. Which is the main fuel strainer located at the lowest point of the fuel system? Answer. It traps any small amount of water that may be present in the fuel system. Question. The purpose of a diaphragm in a vane-type fuel pump is to, answer, compensate fuel pressure to altitude changes. Question. When moving the mixture control on a normally operating engine into an idle cutoff position, the engine RPM should, answer, slightly increase before the engine starts to die. Question. Entrained water in aviation turbine fuel is a hazard because of its susceptibility to freezing as it passes through the filters. What are common methods to prevent this hazard? Answer. Anti-ice fuel additive and fuel heater. Question. As a general rule, which statement is true regarding the fuel tanks? Answer. Stains, seeps, and heavy seeps, in addition to running leaks, are considered flight hazards when located in unvented areas of the aircraft. Unvented areas of the aircraft. Question. The presence of fuel stains around fuel nozzle would indicate, answer, clogged fuel nozzle. Question. What should be used to inert an integral fuel tank before attempting repairs? Answer, CO2, carbon dioxide. Question. What should be used to remove flux from an aluminum tank after welded repair? Answer. 5% solution of nitric or sulfuric acid. Question. Which method would be used to check for internal leakage of a fuel valve without removing the valve from the aircraft? Answer. Place the valve in the off position, drain the strainer bowl, and with boost pumps on, watch to see if the fuel flows to the strainer bowl. Question. Why are jet fuels more susceptible to water contamination than aviation gasoline? Answer. Jet fuel has a higher viscosity than gasoline. Question. When installing a rigid fuel line 1/2 inch in diameter, at what intervals should the line be supported? Answer. 16 inches. Question. The probe of a capacitance type fuel level gauge is essentially a answer. Capacitor with fuel and air acting as a dielectric. Question. Which statement concerning an electric capacitance type fuel quantity indicating system is true? Answer. It has no moving parts in the tank. Question. What type of remote reading fuel quantity indicating system has several probes installed in each fuel tank? Answer. Electronic. Question. Which aircraft fuel quantity indicating system incorporates a single amplifier? Answer. Electronic. A question. A drip gauge may be used to measure, answer, the amount of fuel in the tank. Note, the drip gauge is pulled down from the bottom of the tank until fuel begins to drip from its end. The quantity of the fuel in the tank is indicated on the gauge by the amount the gauge is pulled from the tank before it begins to drip. Question. The electronic type fuel quantity indicating system consists of a bridge circuit, answer, an amplifier, an indicator, and a tank unit. Question. A probe or a series of probes is used in what kind of fuel quantity indicating system? Answer, capacitor. Question. Why is the capacitance fluid quantity indicating system more accurate in measuring fuel levels than a mechanical type? Answer. It measures by weight instead of volume. Physics. Question. One advantage of electrical and electronic fuel quantity indicating system is that, answer, several fuel tanks levels can be read on one indicator. Question. A fuel totalizer is a component which indicates the, answer, amount of fuel in all tanks. Question. A digital fuel totalizer automatically indicates the amount of fuel used, fuel remaining, current rate of consumption, and fuel, answer, weight aboard at takeoff. Question. What is the dielectric, non-conductive material in a capacitance type fuel quantity indicating system? Answer, fuel and air in the tank. Question. A capacitance type fuel quantity indicating system measures fuel in, answer, pounds. Weight is in pounds. Question. What are the 4 general types of fuel quantity gauges? Answer, sight glass, mechanical, electrical, electronic. Question. How does temperature affect fuel weight? Answer, cold fuel is heavier per gallon. Question. One advantage of electrical and electronic fuel quantity indicating systems is that the indicator, answer, can be located any distance from the tank. Question. When fuel quantity is measured in pounds instead of gallons, the measurement will be more accurate because fuel volume, answer, varies with temperature change. Physics. Question. An electrical type fuel quantity indicating system consists of an indicator in the cockpit and a float, answer, in the tank that moves a connecting arm to the wiper on a variable resistor in the tank. Question. What is the purpose of a flow-operated transmitter installed in a fuel tank? Answer: it sends an electric signal to the fuel quantity indicator. Question: in an electric type fuel quantity indicating system, the tank sensing unit is a answer: capacitor. Question: what must each fuel quantity indicator be calibrated to read during level flight when the quantity of fuel remaining is equal to the unusable fuel supply? Answer: 0. Question: what unit would be adjusted to change the fuel pressure warning limits? Answer: pressure sensitive mechanism. Question: select one means of controlling the fuel temperature on turbine-powered aircraft. Answer: engine bleed air to a heat exchanger. Heat exchanger. Note: ice is prevented from clogging the filter of a turbine-powered aircraft fuel system by routing warm compressed bleed air through an air-to-fuel heat exchanger. Question: what is the purpose of flapper-type check valves in an integral fuel tank? Answer: to prevent fuel from flowing away from the boost pumps. Question: what unit is generally used to actuate the fuel pressure warning system? Answer: pressure sensitive mechanism. Question: what method is used on turbine-powered aircraft to determine when the condition of the fuel is approaching the danger of forming ice crystals? Answer: fuel temperature indicator. Question: which of the following would give the first positive indication that a changeover from one fuel tank to another is needed? Answer: fuel pressure warning. Question: a fuel pressure warning switch contacts close, and warning lights is turned on. Answer: the fuel pressure drops below specified limits. Question: a transmitter in a fuel pressure warning system serves what function? Answer: converts fluid pressure to an electrical signal. Question: where is fuel pressure taken for the pressure warning signal on most aircraft engines? Answer: fuel pressure line of the carburetor. Carburetor. Question: which of the following is necessary to effectively troubleshoot a fuel pressure warning system? Answer: the manufacturer's maintenance manual. Question: which of the following would be most useful to locate and troubleshoot an internal fuel leak in an aircraft fuel system? Answer: maintenance manual, diagrams, and descriptions. Okay. Question: in some aircraft with several fuel tanks, the possible danger of allowing the fuel supply in one tank to become exhausted before the selector valve is switched to another tank is prevented by the installation of, answer, a fuel pressure warning signal system. Next question. True, false, 1 or 2. Number 1. The function of a fuel heater is to protect the engine fuel system from ice formation. 2. An aircraft fuel heater cannot be used to thaw ice in the fuel screen. Answer: only number 1 is true. The function of a fuel heater is to protect the engine fuel system from ice. Number 2 is false. The fuel heater can be used to thaw ice that has formed on the fuel screen. Next question. True, false, 1, 2. Number 1. Gas turbine engine fuel systems are very susceptible to the formation of ice in the fuel filters. 2. A fuel heater operates as a heat exchanger to warm the fuel. Answer: both 1 and 2 are true. Question. True, false, 1, 2. Number 1. A fuel heater can use engine bleed air as a source of heat. 2. A fuel heater can use engine lubrication oil as a source of heat. Answer: both 1 and 2 are true. Next question. True, false, 1, 2. 1. A fuel pressure gauge is a differential pressure indicator. 2. A fuel pressure gauge indicates the pressure of the fuel entering the carburetor. Answer: both 1 and 2 are true. Next question. True, false, 1, 2. Number 1. A fuel pressure relief valve is required on an aircraft positive displacement fuel pump. 2. A fuel pressure relief valve is required on an aircraft centrifugal fuel boost pump. Answer: only number 1 is true. A fuel pressure relief valve is required on an aircraft positive displacement fuel pump. Number 2 is false. A pressure relief valve is not needed with a centrifugal fuel boost pump. Next question. The primary purpose of a fuel tank sump is to provide a answer: place for contaminants and water to settle with a drain valve to remove the impurities. Question. Why are integral fuel tanks used in many large aircraft? Answer: to reduce weight. Question. When an aircraft is fueled from a truck of fuel farm that has not been contaminated, daily draining, answer, of strainers and sumps is combined with periodic filter changes and inspection to ensure fuel is contaminant free. Question. When defueling an aircraft, which of the following must be accomplished? Answer: always defuel outside of the hangar. Question. Integral fuel tanks per aircraft are? Answer: supported by the aircraft structure. Question. What precautions must be observed if a gravity-fed fuel system is permitted to supply fuel to an engine from more than one tank at a time? Answer: the tank air spaces must be interconnected. Note: if a gravity-fed fuel system is permitted to supply fuel to an engine for more than one tank at a time, the airspace above the fuel tank must be interconnected. Question. The purpose of a baffle plate in a fuel tank is to? Answer: resist fuel surging within the fuel tank. Question. What markings must be placed on or near each appropriate fuel filler cover on standard category aircraft? Standard category aircraft. Answer: the word avgas and the minimum fuel grade. Question. What is one disadvantage of using aromatic aviation fuels? Answer: deteriorates rubber parts. Question. Fuel boost pumps are operated? Answer: to provide a positive flow of fuel to the engine. Question. Flapper valves are used in fuel tanks to? Answer: act as check valves. Question. Why are centrifugal type boost pumps used in fuel systems of aircraft operating at high altitude? Answer: to supply fuel under pressure to engine-driven pumps. Question. Why is it necessary to ventilate all aircraft fuel tanks? Answer: to limit pressure differentials between the tank and the atmosphere. Question. According to Part 23, what minimum requirement markings must be placed at or near each appropriate fuel filter cover for reciprocating engine-powered airplanes? Answer: the word avgas and the minimum fuel grade. Question: the location of leaks and defects within the internal portion of the fuel system can usually be determined by, answer, observing the pressure gauge and operating the selector valves. Question: what type of fuel booster pump requires a pressure relief valve? Answer: sliding vane. Question: to prevent vapor lock in fuel lines at high altitude, some aircraft are equipped with, answer, booster pumps. Note, the booster pump holds a positive pressure on the fuel in the lines between the tank and the engine-driven fuel pumps. Question: some turbine-powered aircraft have a fuel temperature indicator located in the cockpit to, answer, monitor the fuel temperature during high-altitude flights. Question: when inspecting a fuel system, you should check all valves located downstream of boost pumps with the pumps, answer, operating. Note, that's in AC 4313-1. Question: the type of fuel boost pumps that separates air and vapor from the fuel before it enters the line of the carburetor is the, answer, centrifugal type pump. Question: true, false, 1 and 2. Number 1, on a large aircraft pressure refueling system, a pressure refueling receptacle and control panel will permit one person to fuel or defuel any or all fuel tanks of an aircraft. 2, because of the fuel tank area, there are more advantages to a pressure fueling system in the light aircraft. Answer: only number 1 is true. Large aircraft pressure fueling systems consist of a refueling receptacle and a panel of controls and gauges that permit one person to fuel or defuel any or all fuel tanks of an aircraft. Number 2 is not true. Because of the limited fuel tank area, there are fewer advantages of a pressure fueling system in light aircraft. Question: when routing a fuel line between two rigid mount fittings, the line should, answer, have at least one bend between such fittings. Question: true, false, 1, 2. Number 1, if aviation gasoline vaporizes too readily, fuel lines may become filled with vapor and cause increased fuel flow. 2, a measure of gasoline's tendency to vapor lock is obtained from the Reid vapor pressure test. Answer: only number 2 is true. Number 1 is false. Number 1's not true. The gasoline vaporizes too readily. Fuel lines may become filled with vapor and cause decreased, not increased fuel flow. Number 2 is true. The Reid vapor pressure of a fuel is a measure of the fuel's tendency to vapor lock. Question: microbial growth is produced by various forms of microorganisms that live and multiply in the water interfaces of jet fuels. Which of the following could result if microbial growth exists in a jet fuel tank and is not corrected? Answer: interference with fuel flow, interference with fuel quantity indicators, and electrolytic corrosive action in a metal tank. Question: the vapor pressure of aviation gasoline is, answer, lower than the vapor pressure of automotive gasoline. Question: what can be done to eliminate or minimize the microbial growth problem in an aircraft jet fuel tank? Answer: using anti-icing and antibacterial additives. Question: what is the maximum vapor pressure allowable for an aircraft fuel? Answer: 7 psi. Question, if a bladder type fuel tank is to be left empty for an extended period of time, the inside of the tank should be coated with a film of, answer, engine oil. Question, how many of the anti-knock characteristics of a fuel be improved? Answer, by adding a knock inhibitor. Let's see. I'm going to call it, that was, what section was this? This was Aircraft Fuel Systems. Thank you so much. I'm Karina at Living Lean Six Sigma, and I'll see you in the next video.